Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Yes.
We're doing a Higurashi.
We're doing today on Death of the Caves of Steel. 3000
Death of the Caves of Steel? Is this part of the time capsule?
I guess.
Shout out to that joke. Curry Death of the Rita.
Oh my god.
Watch even.
I haven't thought about
Listen to.
Higurashi in an entire week.
Really?
Like, normally,
God.
normally there's at least one day in a week between recording that I think to myself, I wonder what this means, or I wonder what this is. I did not, like, I got through editing an episode last night.
Sure. And then you blacked out.
Got to the end of it, and I was like, what just fucking happened? What do I title this episode?
It's fine. A train wreck?
I mean, yes, obviously, but, like... Oh my goodness, I've never felt so disconnected from the story.
Why
right
is
now.
that?
So,
Is that just because we're busy boys, or... I thought you were loving Sumiroboshi. Best
I am really enjoying this arc.
glad.
I think, I don't know whether it's
not
on
Rena's
account
fault.
of what happened last video that I'm like mentally disconnected, or whether it's entirely unrelated, but I do find it interesting that the time I've just completely mentally separated myself from the story is the time that we've had this huge information dump of things I was thinking about.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I guess part of that is like, where do I go from here? If you are taking the stance that everything that was just said is like mostly true, except like switch the Sonozakis with Takano, that's sounded to me like where you were going with it.
I don't remember exactly what I said, so I'm just gonna go with you.
That's vaguely what I remember.
Go with you on that.
Look, it's my
And
look, I'll take responsibility.
if that turns me further from the truth, so be it.
I mean, that's what I remember you saying at the end, something along those lines. But if that's kind of where you're at, then you're like, well, everything's just been said. This is all the stuff that I was thinking. I mean, this is like, of course, I can either confirm or deny how much of that was real in the second answer arc of Higurashi, but like, there is a point in every murder mystery where you cannot really stretch things any further. That, to me, is the point where I go into overdrive and come up with just the craziest bullshit that doesn't make sense ever. But for most people, I think that there's a point in every murder mystery where they go, oh, well, I figured out who it is. I can stop thinking now. Or I figured out what's going on. Or I think I have, you know? And I wonder if you might have hit that point with Higurashi.
I don't know. I don't necessarily feel like it.
No, sure. I mean, that's why I'm poking at you.
Maybe I don't know. I'm in a tough spot where normally I would come in with my thoughts for the week and I'd have things to say.
It's okay.
But
look, the only thing you need to say is that Rena is precious, and I'm glad to have her back on screen. That was torture going through that phone call. Just like, no sprites, no adorable Rena. What is this? What is this, like Arc 4? Blasphemy.
I guess it is.
Oh. Shout out to Arc 4.
I suppose we should start. We have nothing more to say. Our tangent can't be 10 minutes today. It can only be 3.
I mean, I could always make another tangent, but not right now.
Please, by all means, go for it.
Oh,
The next day, Rena came to school acting normal like she said she would. Did she say that?
what?
Did she say that she'd come to school acting normal?
Yeah, she said that
Is
she
that a
would.
thing people say?
Yeah, she said over the phone,
I'll
like,
be
people,
more normal tomorrow, guys.
That's what she said. She was like, people will think it's weird if I keep staying home from school, so I'm gonna not investigate today. I'm gonna go in and be a normal person.
Ah, okay.
Look at her go.
She talked to me on as cheerfully as she
girl.
always did, and it made me wonder if the story she told me last night was a complete fabrication.
She's a good actor.
A complete fabrication.
What?
We made this one up.
Commander Riker! Commander Riker, what are you doing to me?
That's because the story really was too ridiculously crazy to believe.
Can we do an episode of Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction?
Yes, obviously.
About Higurashi?
We are perfectly primed to do that.
Does someone in the community have the video editing skill to edit what Jonathan Frakes says in an entire episode to be about Higurashi?
I would love to see that. Somebody
If I
do that.
knew enough, that would be something I could do, but I don't know enough.
I mean, obviously, what we do is we ask guys, fans out there, people who love the show, love what we do here, make that video, send it to me on Discord or through Death of the Reader or whatever.
By the
flag
post.
it for me. Whatever you want to do, send it to me. Google Drive, I don't even care. Send it to me, and then I will hold on to it. And then when it's relevant, when all of the mysteries are revealed,
Magnetic tape?
Yes, I will show it. We made that up. I will show it to Flex, aka Felix. I don't even want to call you that. Show it to Felix, and we'll just yak about it. It'll be like a present for whatever arc it is where all the things are revealed.
That sounds really good. Hopefully it's Arc 8 and not Arc 9, because that would be cheap.
It would not be Arc 9. I will give you that as a truth. We will not be waiting that long.
This village has a very weird and rare endemic disease, and there are religious fanatics who want to use the disease to revive their weird cult.
Woo, cults!
And they've been researching the pathogen of the endemic disease so they can spread it throughout the village. I was deeply influenced by Rena last night. I believed everything she said, but
Good.
thinking about it with a cool mind under the bright sunlight, it sounds too crazy to be true. The story Rena told me is based on Takano-san's crazy hand-me-down ideas. It's based entirely on her theories, which, though very feasible, have no evidence whatsoever.
You know, I was just thinking in this moment that the J-drama
Yeah.
for Higurashi...
Which part of it? Have you been watching that?
Has like the same visual aesthetic as all of the cutaway reenactments from Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction.
Do they?
Yeah.
I hadn't got that impression, but I believe you.
I admittedly, I haven't seen much of the J-drama, nor did I really know what a J-drama was before someone started sending me
Japanese
gifs.
Japanese drama. They're great gifts, though. Shout out to the water gun fight. Oh my god.
I did have the mental capacity to extrapolate the J-drama.
I know,
was
but I'm
Japanese
just
drama.
for the audience.
Well, thank you.
Felix.
Well, I hope that the
Chrono.
audience doesn't now feel slighted upon as though I've talked down to them.
What if it was a Chrono drama? Also, I would be the one talking out of them, which we know is impossible.
I see.
It's all good.
A Chrono drama?
A Chrono drama. Yeah, a drama.
I don't
based
think
on
that
your
would have the
life.
same aesthetic, though. That would
No,
be like
no, but it would
the
have the
aesthetic
same
would be like
gravitas.
really edgy and self-important.
Hell yes.
Because that's what people know me for,
Dude,
being
that's what we do.
edgy, self-important.
Yeah. Narcissistic, insufferable,
exactly.
difficult to talk with.
I always have a sidekick who never actually contributes to a scene.
That's
but
the
just,
one. But just talks about how awful you are. That's the one. That sounds
that's
right
the
to
one.
me. I love it.
I have no evidence whatsoever. The fact that Takano-san was murdered lends credit to the story, I'll give you that, but... I looked at Mion.
Is that the butt?
She was fooling around with Rena. It's hard to believe that she's involved with some crazy conspiracy.
I mean, have you seen how she runs the club?
It's true. It's completely insane.
Hey, you listening, Kei-chan?
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
He wasn't paying enough attention that he didn't realize that the answer to that question should have just been no. That's how you know he wasn't paying attention.
Because he should have been honest with her. And he wasn't, and now he's paying the price. Should have given her the doll.
Wake up, sleepyhead. You need to get enough sleep or your brain stops working. I agree.
It's true.
Mion made fun of me for reacting too slowly. It's almost impossible not to trust this bubbly, cheerful girl.
Just like Rena.
I trust Mion. I trust my friends.
Is that exclusive groupings?
Yeah.
I know she'd never have a hand in a crazy conspiracy like that. If she knew about it, she wouldn't be able to act this cheerfully.
I don't know about that. I
that
don't think that's
logic
accurate.
doesn't hold up in the court of law.
Considering that you were just talking to Rena, who is currently on this like crazy crusade to, unlock this religious cult of the village, and now she's like also doing the exact same thing Mion is. I'm just saying, appearances.
And you
deceiving.
stumbled across her trying to hide corpses.
True.
That's the main one.
They did do that. They did do that. I'm just saying, duality is a thing in this story.
Rena told me not to tell Mion.
Is integral to the story, in fact.
Nonsense.
God
Because
damn
she
it.
might be one of them. But it might be worth telling her without letting Rena know.
Now that Shion,
course.
she's a nutcase, clearly.
There's at least a 1% chance that the conspiracy is true and that Mion is one of them. If so, I'd be doomed.
True.
Where did you get these numbers from?
I don't know.
If I had to choose between believing the crazy conspiracy theory and trusting my friends, my answer would be obvious.
Conspiracy.
I know that my friend, Mion, isn't a part of any conspiracy. She'd never be involved with something like that. Even if the conspiracy exists, I'm sure Mion would be on our side. So, whether or not it's true, it must be worth telling Mion about.
Uh-oh.
Flash forwards.
Wipe. Let's go. What? Where's Rena gone? What is this nonsense?
What's going on, Kei-chan? Why'd you call me out here?
Oh, worst scene.
You told me not to tell anybody. You're not going to extort money from me, are you?
I mean,
Keiichi wouldn't be capable of that, let's be clear.
How do these two get out of the classroom and not tell anybody where they're going and it not be suspicious? Like,
I don't know.
This is a small class, so small that all of the year groups cross over.
It's true.
Someone's going to notice that this is
literally Rena, Mion, and Keiichi are all like in the same group, or like year group, learning the same stuff. And they're like, oh, we're just gonna go out. Don't worry about it, Rena. You just stay in the classroom by yourself.
Yeah, what could
Nothing
possibly go wrong?
suspicious. Literally the person who you should be like most conscious of spotting you leave is the first person who would notice. What is the excuse that you've given her?
This is fucking rubbish.
I love it.
Is that the first thing you think of when you're called out to the gymnasium storeroom?
Oh, dear.
I know, you want to give me a love letter.
Oh,
don't you?
yes.
People usually use the shoe locker for that, you know?
We don't really do that in the city. A lot of guys hand over their love letters in person.
So cute. Oh, she's blushing.
Really? So wait, you're,
Are you kidding me? That's not why I called you here. I have to talk to you about something very important.
Not love. Love is not important, says Keiichi. God damn it.
I don't mind that. What I really enjoy here,
Tell
is
me.
that Mion's like, OMG, he's about to confess his love, and he's like, Mion, are you a psychopath?
Yes, yes. Are you in a criminal conspiracy? You have to tell me.
Journalist,
You
without making fun of me.
You're legally required to tell me if you're a cult, Mion.
What is it?
Do you know that there are people who want to revive the cult of Oyashiro-sama?
There's a lot of assumptions being presented in this sentence.
It's alright, let's see how she does. This is how you play in, like, Mafia. You just, like, you're a Mafia, and they're like, whoa, not
Keiichi
me.
would lose at that game.
He would. Because he'd literally...
What are you talking about?
Well, to be fair, it'd be really obvious that he wasn't a member of the Mafia. Because he'd be, like, so clearly not in that mindset. So he'd be a very trustworthy source of information, even if all of it was wrong.
But that also means he gets killed very easily.
This is true. He'd be the first person killed in every game of Mafia.
So he'd lose.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
if
my point.
if he wasn't killed, then he's a witch. Easy, done.
But if he was a witch, then the villagers would kill him just as easily.
It's true.
He dies.
So basically, what we're saying is,
He dies.
Keiichi, don't play Mafia. Just don't do it.
This, of course, was just my way of getting a feel for the situation.
Just any social deduction game this man cannot play.
It's true. It's true.
I wanted to see how she was going to react by getting straight to the point.
See, he is thinking about it though.
But Mion really did look puzzled. People wouldn't normally react like this if someone pointed out their secrets out of the blue. They always panic, if only just a little.
He understands. Oh, I play Mafia like Keiichi. No wonder I'm so good at it.
Has some real flaws in that logic going there, Ben.
Nah, dude, it's perfect.
Either Mion was a brilliant actress, or she really didn't have anything to do with the ideas of reviving Oyashiro-sama. See, the difference between you and Keiichi is probably that Keiichi is saying this out loud.
This is true. He's telling her like, I've got you now.
No, like verbatim, his thought process is just going out to the public.
No, totally. Through his face.
Exactly.
As
I
firmly
decided
established.
to tell her everything.
Good.
Mion, your family, the Sonozaki family, has a lot of influence in the region, including Hinamizawa, right?
That's not a telling, that's a questioning.
It's true.
You think there's a possibility that they're working to revive the cult of Oyashiro-sama behind the scenes? Again, not a telling.
There's a question mark. That's explicitly a question.
Revive? Why?
Ooh, revive.
Well, notice that she does not deny the prospect.
No. She knows that this is a real thing.
Guilty.
Oh,
Guilty as charged.
Pull her away.
Lock her up.
Keiichi, pull out your police badge.
Well,
Where's
you
the
know,
Oishi?
people today don't worship Oyashiro-sama like the people in the old days did, so people like fundamentalists might be trying to make people worship Oyashiro-sama in the same way as the people of Onigafuchi.
What? Wait a second. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Are you sure? You really have no idea what I'm talking about?
That's what someone who knew what I was talking about would say.
Of course I do. It sounds like one of those popular novels that sold 5 million copies over in America. Is that a reference to something that we should get?
I don't think so.
Mion's reaction was very natural. It seemed impossible that she was pretending she didn't know anything about it, but regardless, I continued. Well, there are people like that in this village for real. Do you know anything about them?
You're saying that these people want to make us worship Oyashiro-sama like the people of Onigafuchi did. What good will that do? I've never heard Ryukishi repeat himself.
Repeat himself? Is that what you're supposed to say there? Yeah.
You know, I think it means a lot to people who really believe.
Oh.
But think about it, Kei-chan. Who'd be happy to live under those strict ancient rules? In this day and age, it's almost impossible to live without leaving the village.
But for example, think about Rika-chan. All the old people say she's a reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama, right? Those people might be religious fanatics and
Are you talking about old man Kimiyoshi? Well, I know he's a deeply religious man for sure, but he isn't a fanatic.
believe me, there really are people who are trying to revive the cult of Oyashiro-sama. Just look at all of this evidence I have here in my empty hands.
I was gonna say, yeah. Behind my back is the evidence that'll put you away.
Okay, I'll believe you for now because I want to hear the rest. That's good. This is when someone starts coming at you with batshit ideas, this is what you say to them.
Yeah.
You let them go on.
Yeah, and then they dig their own hole. Literally. They dig their own
It's
grave.
amazing. It's
for
the best.
but it's for themselves. Yeah.
That's why this is why this scene is already fantastic.
Ugh.
They found out that the curse of Oyashiro-sama was just an ancient endemic disease, unique.
Where did the word ancient come from? Did I just put that in completely of my own volition?
Yes, there is
Okay.
no ancient there.
Endemic disease unique to this village, so now they're researching the pathogen.
Where? First of all, what's an endemic disease? What's a pathogen? They sound gross.
They are gross.
I was getting confused. I didn't know what I was talking about myself anymore.
Oh, Keiichi. Damn it. You entire nerds.
Fucking.
Just go get Rena.
I was
Just go
deeply
get
influenced by
Rena.
Rena last night, and I believed everything she said, but having said it out loud, I started realizing how impossible the story sounded.
What's going on with you? Did Mio-san tell you all this?
Huh? How did you know?
Yeah, gosh. Who would think that the person with a reputation for researching these things could have given
Spooky
you this
stories.
information?
Yeah. I also want to say I like that Felix here leapt back and like held his arms like in a karate chop pose. Like he was ready for me to jump out of the screen and like attack.
She's infamous for this kind of thing. She's an occult maniac. She always makes up crazy stories. Few people have gotten badly taken in by her before. She told me some of her stories once, and I remember they're actually very interesting.
Is that true?
He's also very dead.
I think you've heard about this once or twice before, but the village had a unique culture back in the old days. They did a lot of oppressive things, like having very strict rules, very strict punishments, and a bunch of other cruel traditions, well known among occult maniacs. Mio-san is one of them.
So the story I heard about the weird parasite that controls the village was true. Wait, no.
What? Parasite? Is that a new story she came up with?
What do you mean, new story?
I told you, Mio-san is an occult maniac. She studies the weird legends surrounding Okonogi and enjoys making up hypotheses, theories, and wild stories about them. She's created a lot of different ones, aside from that theory that parasites are controlling the village. One I heard an awful while back was about UFOs. That one was interesting since it connected a lot of different dots. Like that one in Arc 1 where they're talking about space invasions.
It's true. It's like the canned meat story.
The story was about a UFO that crashed into Onigafuchi's swamp long ago. The alien that was in the UFO and the villagers had a battle or something like that. It was like one of those sci-fi horror B-movies. The one Sadako heard was a theory about creatures from the bottom of the ocean, a movement in the Earth's crust open up in connection between that underwater world and Onigafuchi, and
They had to build giant robots to fight them.
the princess of the underworld fell in love with a young man in the village. It was like a sci-fi version of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, sounds good.
The story about the parasites you heard must be a new one. I hope she makes all of them into a book one day. And the book's called Higurashi, and everything on this page is true.
This is bullshit. I resent this theory.
Listen. A parasite lands on an asteroid in a swamp.
Yeah.
People get
On an
infected by
asteroid?
it. What?
You mean the parasite was on the asteroid, not the asteroid was in the swamp and the parasite landed on it?
Yes, I did
Okay,
mean
good.
that.
I'm just making sure.
Just making sure. Thank you. I'm glad that you're here to clear these things
That's
up.
what I'm here for. I need to make
And
sure
then
all
someone gets
knows what you're
infected
saying.
by the parasite, and there's a man and a woman, and they fall in love, and we have no contradictions.
That makes sense to me.
All of these
That
things
sounds like
could still be the same story.
that sounds like a perfectly self-contained story that has no leaps in logic or in genre.
What do you mean? There's no leaps in logic in there.
No, asteroids are perfectly foreshadowed by the story.
What do you mean?
I'm being facetious. I haven't heard a single asteroid mention this entire story. is
What
all
do you
I'm
mean?
saying.
We had things falling from space mentioned in Arc 1.
Not asteroids,
I
though.
just joked about it on the previous page.
No,
What?
I know.
Yeah, but it was a spaceship in Arc 1, and you know what is commonly analogous to spaceships in old myth? Asteroids,
Okay,
because
there you
people
go.
of old myth couldn't explain them.
It's true. It's true. I'm just
Listen,
saying, spaceship, not asteroid. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, all
if
of
there's
this-
a parasite, it's got to be in a teeny tiny spaceship
All
that
of
you
this
couldn't even
is
see.
completely plausible.
Unless you're telling me the movie opens
This
like a
is
little plunk in the water.
completely
There's like a
plausible.
little pebble rolls in, and that's the spaceship for the parasite. Unless it's like a full body, like, body snatcher type dealio. That'd be fun too.
This is all completely plausible as long as you
This
accept.
all makes sense to me, except this is a horror story. I mean, if it was horror sci-fi, then you threw it had some legs.
Why do you keep bringing a sci-fi into this?
Because that's what he said sci-fi twice on the page, at least.
And the point that I'm trying to make is it's like the modes of myth that we keep bringing up.
Okay.
That could be the modern explanation
Okay, good.
for what was literally just a rock falling out of
Okay.
the sky.
Fair
and a man
enough.
and a woman falling
Fair
in
enough.
love.
But who would they be?
Why would you gotta overcomplicate all the thingamahoo dickawatsies?
Because you
It's
make
a
words like
very
that.
straightforward
'Cause you
theory.
make words
It's
like
a very
that.
straightforward theory,
No, I
man.
don't think so. I think the thing with Watsy is too big of a word to have in a straightforward theory.
Fucking rubbish you are, Ben. You'd never make it as a mystery solver.
That's not true. I might get a point on Death the Reader one day.
You will have had it long since by now.
Oh, good. Thank God for points.
Mion began laughing so hard that she had to hold her stomach. As I looked at her laughing like that, I realized I fell for something that ridiculous. At that point, it was obvious. I had been completely taken in. I'm sorry, Mion, but please answer my questions. First, do the fanatics who are trying to revive the cult of Oyashiro-sama exist?
Do they exist?
No, they don't. I mean, it's totally the opposite. The three families have agreed to open Hinamizawa to outsiders in order to make this village thrive. I'm not supposed to tell anybody about this, but there's a project to build a new highway by the end of the 20th century. The Sonozaki family is promoting its construction without informing the villagers. If all goes well, this whole area will flourish. My grandma is betting she'll make a fortune when it causes land prices in the region to skyrocket. Well, most of the work will happen in the 21st century, so I'll likely end up taking over the project.
So you don't think they're people who hate outsiders?
I told you, there are no such people. What makes you think we want to make this village more inconvenient than it already is? In fact, we've already started selling the land of the village to rich people who want to build country residences here. Your house is on the first lot we sold, Keiichi. Didn't the villagers welcome you? The three families are trying to do everything they can to stop young people from leaving this village.
There's nothing vague about what Mion had said. Her story makes a lot more sense than Takano-san's delusional theories. And so Mion's words woke me up from that delusion. So, what about this? I heard that the residents of Hinamizawa have extraordinarily high levels of something in their blood, and it proves that they're infected by parasites.
Really? How did Mio-san figure that out?
Takano-san is a nurse. I'm sure she can do that.
And you think anyone would give her blood samples for no reason? Because I sure don't. Even if she could get blood samples somehow, how and where would she examine them? How many blood samples do you think she examined all by herself?
Mion was right. I couldn't believe I thought Takano-san could do all that just because she was a nurse. It struck me hard to believe that she got that many blood samples and did a high level of examination like that without any help. When I thought about it rationally, I shouldn't have believed such a ridiculous story so easily.
Yeah.
You're grinning fucking ear to ear, Ben, and I'm enjoying watching you going through this scene.
No, I'm enjoying this. This is good fun.
This is either the smile of a veteran realizing that this is Ryukashi trying to aggressively steer you away from the truth,
or this is totally
or
right,
this is
and your
just making
theories have
fun
all
of
been
fucking
debunked.
Keiichi.
No, dude. Here we go.
I love it.
This is great. I love this scene.
I heard that people here don't get hay fever, which is proof of their being infected by the parasite.
Only people in cities get hay fever. I heard it has something to do with fuel emissions. Keiichi, you're talking about Hinamizawa. I mean, even people in Okonogi don't get hay fever, I think.
Oh, what about, is that true? I've never actually heard that.
I have no clue.
Yeah, I've never heard that that's
I've
a
never
thing.
heard that as a rumor even, so I think that Mion is full of it!
Fucking full of shit.
Full of it.
What about this? I heard that the Sonozaki family has a death squad and that they kidnapped the grandson of a government minister once.
That sounds
And
legit.
Mion's just like, oh yeah, that one's true.
That one is definitely true.
Sounds cool. I wish I had a squad like that.
Even I was sounding ridiculous, but
Even I was sounding ridiculous. Has this man met himself?
Look, there's one thing I've learned is that Keiichi is known for being a reasonable individual, very intelligent. He thinks through everything so meticulously, how could he be wrong about anything? You know?
even I was sounding ridiculous, but I believed all of it last night. I believed it because Rena looked very suspicious.
What?
It's true that the grandson of a minister was found in Takatsura. We didn't do it. We just acted as if we did.
What do you mean? Please explain.
Okay, the Onigafuchi Guardians protested violently during the dam conflict. They did something close to terrorism as well, but there were people who used the resistance movement for their own benefits. They used the name of the Onigafuchi Guardians to rob people of money and valuables. The Onigafuchi Guardians were a very aggressive force at that time. There's a high possibility that some people thought they could use the name to extort money. The kidnapping case was one of those incidents. The kidnappers thought they could stifle the police investigation by acting like they were the Onigafuchi Guardians. They kidnapped the boy to demand a ransom. To tell you the truth, the members of the Onigafuchi Guardians were all very surprised. They were actually impressed that those guys pulled it off. I remember they even said they'd give them an award.
Wait a second, so the Onigafuchi Guardians had nothing to do with the kidnapping?
No, not at all.
Mion said it firmly. It was a simple and clear answer which left no room for suspicion. And thinking about it, it's nothing surprising. Kidnapping the grandson of a minister and negotiating with him in person is a huge deal. The Onigafuchi Guardians were a very aggressive group, but this operation wasn't so easy that it could be carried out by any of the normal residents of Hinamizawa. It was obviously the work of professional criminals, without a doubt.
Like I said earlier, the Sonozaki family acted as if we were the masterminds of the kidnapping case.
What do you mean by that?
This is a secret precept of the Sonozaki family. You can't tell anybody about this, okay?
Why would you tell him this? It's Keiichi.
When an incident like this happens, we traditionally act as if we're responsible for it. It's a tradition of bluffing.
Bluffing? Really? I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't because you can't bluff for shit. It doesn't matter what it is as long as it works out in our favor. It can be a criminal incident, the weather, or even lottery numbers. We act as if it happened because the Sonozaki family wanted it to happen.
All the stars need to be in position.
It starts to sound like we're a very powerful organization, doesn't it? That's the point. This is the secret strategy that only the Sonozaki family heads know about. Which means you, Keiichi. You're the next in line for the throne. You're my grandson. The strategy is meant to make us look bigger and stronger than we really are.
Oh, wow. So, what about the plan they had during the dam conflict, the one to attack the Ministry of Construction? Was that true? I heard that they obtained weapons and even trained for it.
That was the spin we put on it. There's no way we could actually carry out a crazy plan like that. Our real goal was to make people believe that we were capable of doing things like that so we could exact pressure on the government. That's all.
They obtained weapons and went through training just so they could exact pressure. They had no intention of actually carrying out the plan. Never heard Ryukishi repeat himself. The Sonozaki family was just bluffing. Never heard Ryukishi repeat himself.
Yeah.
That made sense. Of course it did. It's impossible to attack the Ministry of Construction. Even if they did, it wouldn't solve the problem. All they had to do was use common sense. Even if they did, they would have been crushed within seconds by a huge number of policemen. Why didn't I think of that?
Because he's been playing too much Payday.
It's true.
Dead game at this point. It's
Cut
very
that.
sad.
Cut that. That's not relevant.
It's very sad.
Cut that. Who needs Payday in their life? Not me.
What about the weapons and the training?
As for the weapons, no comment. But we did go through training. We needed to do that in order to make the bluff look real. We gathered some younger men from my father's office and appointed Kasai as leader of the group. We went to a desert in Texas, played war games with some instructors, and went sightseeing in San Francisco afterwards.
Got very drunk.
So...
What?
Okay.
Yeah, that happened, apparently. They were a jet squad that went to America. It just was, Kasai, Mion, and the boys.
It's a very expensive bluffing trip.
It is! So what we know is that they're not very powerful and not capable of doing much against the police force, and yet are incredibly well equipped financially that they can just go to America and
Well, I mean, I guess they're a business. They probably just have good holiday benefits.
You know what? That's possible. I don't know where they get that money from, but
That's from all of the hard work they do, supporting the village,
the local community.
Means.
Yes, of course.
I couldn't think of anything else. It was obvious now.
See, this is the kind of passage, as we said earlier in the scene, right? But I want to iterate this in a way that I think is more clear.
Do it.
Where this is the kind of scene where Ryukishi is either going to take us on a roundabout journey and come back exactly to this and be like, that was all the truth, sucked in, or this entire passage has been worthless, which is not a game that Ryukishi plays.
Well, I mean...
And then it has to mean something else, and then Herds, what does it mean?
That's a great question. I think that the thing that we have to ask ourselves, because this is Higurashi, can we trust Mion to A, tell the truth, B, know everything, and C, want to tell Keiichi about the village's secrets and shit?
Now you see, you're trying to operate here with Death of the Author, Ben, where we pretend that Ryukishi isn't playing games with us.
Okay.
That's the prevailing important thing that I operate off.
Sure.
Where, what the fuck was the point of the past 2 chapters if there wasn't any truth in them? And if there wasn't any truth in them, what was there in them?
I don't know, dude. It's a great question.
It's a fantastic question. Which is why I think we're going to come back and most of this is still going to be true.
Sure. We'll see.
We will see. We will see. The question is, of course, which details are the ones that we're going to come back to and which are the ones that are just going to be, throwaway?
I suppose so. So we'll have to find out.
I guess we will. It would be pretty great if we get to the end of the story and, it's just Takano was right all along. Takano was the good guy and nobody knew it. She saved the entirety of Japan from volcanic disaster.
Yeah, dude.
And nobody was any the wiser. She dies the villain so that the rest of Japan could survive. What a heartwarming story.
Dude, I'd be super down for that. I don't know why Takano's even in the story. She's not there to, die a villain but be a hero in the end. What's the point otherwise?
Exactly. It reminds me of something a wise Michael Caine once said. You either die a villain or live long enough to see yourself become the hero.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a fucking heartwarming lesson we've learned together.
Can you pronounce the words Michael Caine in Michael Caine's accent?
I can't. I don't even think I've heard Michael Caine in my life. So I could not unfortunately.
So we have a friend who we occasionally refer to on the show as Jimmy the Skink,
Yes.
who...
Are you going to talk about how his impressions are always on point every time?
I mean, yes.
And that he loves prawns?
But his phrase to go into his Michael Caine accent is just to go, Michael Caine! But then start to tone it down a bit.
Alrighty. Well.
Because Michael Caine pronounces his name like Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. Michael Caine.
No.
Okay,
You're still pronouncing the L. It's Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. Michael Caine. Michael Caine. Michael Caine.
Neither of us are as good at this as he was.
Michael Caine.
I just wanted to share that with you.
You know what we need to do is that if we ever see Jimmy the Skink again after he comes back from the war he's gone to fight over in Africa against the prawn people, is that we need to have him record just Michael Caine, and we just throw that in one episode, and that's it.
I agree.
And then we could share with the world.
The question is,
what he sounds like.
Will Arc 8 come out, or will Jimmy the Skink come home first?
Well, to be fair, there are more arcs after Arc 8 that I'd like to visit. We still have Ray at least to go through. So we have time.
My question doesn't change.
What do you mean?
Both of them are the distant future.
It's true. The distant future or the distant past. They're basically the same thing.
No. Rena and I both were completely fooled by the scrapbooks of Technosan's delusion. Rena was so serious about it, so I believed her, but if you examine it closely, there are so many inconsistencies. I couldn't believe Rena took a delusion like that so seriously.
Alright, cut that then. Thank you, Editor Felix.
Yeah, Editor Felix, get back to work.
I knew the reason why, though. She was still in a state of shock after being caught with the corpses that day. She was mentally unstable.
Implying that she was mentally stable before you caught her with the corpses?
I mean, I don't know how much context the Keiichi has for this.
Then she came across...
Well, she's killed 2 people, Ben. What more context do you need for someone's mental state?
I suppose, but, you know, I don't know that he's had, like, the proper hash it out. Like...
I'm not objecting to that part, Ben. I'm just saying that this line is implying that Keiichi thinks that Rena was completely okay before they caught her.
I mean...
And she told them the story.
This is true. She did tell them about the lead up, but yeah, I don't know.
Then she came across this tall tale, and she believed it. Rena is a smart girl. She wouldn't have taken it seriously if she was stable. Plus, another thing happened to wake me up from the delusion. The white van I saw yesterday came to school during the lunch break. The 4 men in work uniforms I saw were there too. I said thank you to Mion and followed them. The man who talked to me yesterday knocked on the door of the teacher's office.
Oh shit. Hello, I'm from the Okonogi Gardeners.
The who?
The Okonogi Gardeners.
The once more louder, please?
The Okonogi Gardeners.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to double check.
You're very welcome.
They're
gardeners, and it's some company called Okonogi, which is weird.
I just wanted to make sure that it didn't say Okonomiya Gardeners, because that would have made more sense.
That would have made a very
much less suspicious.
Why would Okonogi be a suspicious name?
Well, because
does that mean something in Japan?
The trailer for Kikonia.
This is true. This is true. He does, and we love him for it. I hope you're ready, Felix. It's time for the Okonogi Gardeners to shine.
Oh, thank you for coming. It's very hot today, isn't it?
Oh, it sure is. By the way, you look very beautiful today, as always.
As always! Well, thank you. Well, you can start whenever you're ready.
Yes, we'll start right away. My account manager told me to give this to you.
The code and invoice, I see. The date is left blank on both of them. Well, there shouldn't be any problem. Thank you so much.
All right. We'll start right away.
The man was talking to Chie-sensei with a big smile.
Oh, he is a beautiful smile.
What are you doing here, my Barkin?
Oh, principal.
What?
Who is that guy?
Oh, wait.
It was the principal.
I didn't even click.
You know what? It doesn't matter.
Didn't even click.
It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna take points for that. How many points do you want for that?
Well, we weren't told. I mean, how many lines has it been? How many lines have you had? Like 3?
It's
3 points.
like
3 points.
Well, no, the man was talking to Chie-sensei, so this is
you're
the
right.
only line that's the principal.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think we take 1 point then.
I think we take 1 point.
1 point for that. I will not steal more points than I'm allowed to steal based on the
However,
rules.
I will read the line again, because it's
Good.
one of my favorite voices we don't get
It
to
is
do
an
often
excellent line.
Now, what are you doing here, my Barakan? Oh, principal, who is that guy? The principal pointed his finger at the window. When I looked out, I heard the noise of an engine starting.
Oh,
the noise was coming from the engine of a motorized lawnmower. I saw young men in work uniforms taking another lawnmower, some brooms, and a ladder out of the van.
Is it time?
Ah, they're gardeners. We haven't taken care of the grass around the fence and the trees for a long time. I wanted to clean them up before summer. Mr. Principal, thank you for...
Mr. Principal, thank you for giving us a call.
Stop. I'm
What?
not editing that out. Fucking give us a point.
Okay, we get a point. 1 point. You should give us 1 point.
Why couldn't we have given the principal a sprite? Why couldn't we have given...
Because he's not important enough.
The man who
also-
represents the Okonogi gardeners a sprite.
Although it is a good point, the Chie Sensei is also in this scene and she does not have a sprite.
Yes.
So, what's happening?
What the fuck?
What's happening, Higurashi?
The man noticed the principal took off his hat and bowed. Ah, now, Nate, I trust you'll please take care of things.
I think we can finish it today. We might make a lot of noise, though.
Yes, all of the noise they need to cover up the screams of the children.
Yes, while we garden them. What?
Also, you know, it had never really occurred to me until this moment that because we have sprites, Ryukashi has, like, barely ever done descriptive language for any character.
What characters look like?
Look.
No, you're absolutely correct.
Except for breasts.
Breasts are very important.
Which is
They're
offensive
very
and upsetting.
and kind of sexist and, like, awful. It's true. It's true. Although, to be fair, there was some description of Keiichi's first seal, so it's kind of equal. But it's still upsetting. You're right.
This is unacceptable.
Very much
Each worker took one of the tools and walked towards the fence where the grass was growing. The engine of the lawnmower was very loud, and the kids who were playing in the schoolyard looked at it curiously.
Oh, there she is.
Hey, it's dangerous out here. Go back to your classroom.
It was Chie-sensei. She handed an envelope with the documents in it to the principal. It said Okonogi Gardeners in green on the envelope.
Oh, that sounds nice and friendly to the environment.
I really thought when it first said color that it was gonna it was gonna be red.
No, it's green
gonna
because
be
they're
blood.
gardeners.
It's gonna
no,
be blood.
They're environmentally friendly people. They love flowers and trees and the environment. I hear that's important to the kids these days. Which is who is living in this building.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Principal, please sign the invoice and drop it off at their office next time you go to the town hall.
Of course, will do. Chie-sensei, did they come here yesterday?
Yes, they came here to look at the grass late in the afternoon. They told me they got lost on the way back because they tried to take a shortcut.
Well, that's unfortunate for them. My goodness, they don't know this village very well at all.
I'm assuming this is the principal?
Yeah, I assume so.
This village has a lot of small roads branching off everywhere,
Let's take a point.
and they can be very confusing.
I remember when I first came here.
Chie-sensei started talking about when she got lost and they laughed together.
Principal and Chie
We did well,
laughing
we did
together. Yeah, we did it.
There was never anything suspicious to begin with. It's
true.
He says as the music continues. I thought they were suspicious yesterday
We're about to get to the
because of what Rena had told me. At first, I thought it wasn't unusual to see a white van, but then right after I heard a creepy story, I saw a white van parked in the road and I got scared. The gardeners weren't familiar with the roads of Inazawa, and they got lost trying to take a shortcut on their way
That
back.
makes so much sense.
That's all.
Oh my goodness.
I had it totally twisted around. I believe that fake-sounding story. I believe the Sonozaki family was working behind the scenes, and I fabricated the existence of a group of fanatical believers in my mind. Worse, I doubted Mion.
The worst thing!
Damn it, I'm such a fool.
Oh.
She's my friend. We took each other's hands that day, saying that we were a family made of friends, and that friends were friends no matter what. I said that, but then I doubted my friend. I'm so stupid. Anyway, Rena was the problem. She also needed to...
Can we just swap the music out for something slightly more positive?
No!
Like a couple of lines just to illustrate the point here?
No!
She also needed to wake up from this crazy delusion. I had to hurry and wake her up. Rena seemed like she had no mind to listen to anyone else. She truly believes the Sonozaki family and the masterminds of a large-scale conspiracy.
Here we are.
It's more
Speaking
red
of,
again. And
it's also even spookier music.
is this redder again? Is this getting...
I don't know if it's redder than the last scene we're in. I think it is, though.
But
I
it
think
is
that-
getting redder, right?
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
is.
just
Yeah,
delusional.
it was like bright pink at the start. And
Yeah.
now it's like kind of red. But not like, too deep red.
Well, it's just that the recordings that we make are like ever so slightly more pale. So when I'm like looking back on it, I'm trying to compare it with the edited one, which is already more pale, and I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's a bit difficult. All right, well, let's get into this. I remembered the plate number of the white van, and I also remember their faces. Without a doubt, this was one of the vans that had been following me.
One of? There was
of.
more than one? This is news?
Apparently. So if she's tracking the plates, then she would know. So far, I've confirmed that 3 or 4 cars have been following me. I could especially recall this white van because it followed me around the longest of all. The people who are in the other cars must be lookouts, and the ones in this van must be tasked with direct contact, like kidnapping or assassination.
Makes sense to me.
The lookouts secure the surroundings, and the ones in this van attack the target. As a common maneuver involved in both kidnapping and assassination. The scrapbook said that too.
Thank goodness that they said such a thing so that you would know, Rena.
Yeah, now she has the fictional positioning to say that she knows these things.
Excellent.
If so, I better watch out, because it was them, not the lookouts, who came to the school premises. Hashtag just play blades. I don't think they'll attack me when I'm in school. They're in the early stage of their covert operation now, hiding their fangs and claws until the last stage of their horrifying scheme.
I'm just imagining a bunch of slow-mo shots of a dude on a really dinky, like, ride-on mower. Just
getting closer.
Staring menacingly at the camera.
It's like slowly moving.
zigzags.
Yes, in the background. Of course. And she's like facing the other way and he just doesn't, his face does not move. Yeah, no, that's perfect. And this music is in the background.
Exactly.
He's got real big eyebrows. Anyway.
If only I had a ride-on mower that we could film this scene and put it in for illustration. Be
Somebody
so
make
fucking
that.
funny.
We have to make that. Somebody make that. God. The horrifying scheme. That's why they won't take action in school while people are watching. But it looked like they were talking with Chie Sensei in a very friendly way.
I keep, like, instinctively pushing air from my lungs to begin these lines whenever they start without a quotation.
They're my lines, because Rena has to get some
Yeah,
reading
I know.
time.
I just want to illustrate to you that this is difficult for me.
I know. I'm glad that you're restraining yourself so I can have my moment in the spotlight.
Finally.
Thank God. I could only hear bits and pieces of their conversation, but it sounded very suspicious. I tried to remember the chatter and the movements in their mouths, and I played my memory of it like a videotape in my mind.
Hello.
Oh my God, this is some Sanoda shit. Oh, thank you for coming. It's very hot today, isn't it? Good luck.
Oh, no, we've got this backwards. This is exactly
Oh,
the
of
same
course.
scene.
Yes,
I'm
of
going
course
to
it
give
is.
3 points to Ryukashi.
You know what? E.T. can take him. It's fine.
Yes. It's you first.
Yeah. I'm just warming myself up.
To say hello?
No, yes, to say hello.
Go for it.
Because I had to take the suction of the air into my chest. Hello.
Oh, thank you for coming. It's very hot today, isn't it?
It sure is. Today.
Well, thank you. You can start whenever you're ready.
Yes, we'll start right away. My account manager told me to give this to you.
Ah, and I see. Is left blank on.
This is supposed to be a very intimidating scene, I'm sure.
Oh, there shouldn't be any problem. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, got him.
We did it.
I used the information I had to guess what was going on. I played the video again and again in my mind, and also paused it and replayed it in slow motion again to check many times. Then something unbelievably horrifying started to emerge. There's no doubt that they're acquainted with Chie Sensei, but I'd never seen him in this school before, so it's hard to believe that Chie Sensei is their contact. There's no doubt that they're the death squad under the direct control of the Sonozaki family.
Makes sense to me.
They had the local accent, which proves they were chosen from the Sonozaki Corps. The death squad was talking with Chie Sensei.
There's a lot of local accents in this town, in case you hadn't noticed, Rena.
Sure.
Yours is perhaps the biggest outlier.
I don't know what you talk about. This is native Hinamizawan. The death squad was talking with Chie Sensei. They know each other. What's their relationship? Who's Chie Sensei anyway? During the dam conflict, Hinamizawa's school was closed and it was merged with the one in Okonomi, but the Onigafuchi Guardians didn't accept that, and they made a part of the forestry service building into a school. But needless to say, the school they made didn't have a teacher, so it was only going to be a token form of resistance. But a teacher who had a strong passion for education felt sorry for the children. She came to work there. That was Rumiko Chie Sensei. It was obviously strange. Teachers are government employees and they normally belong to their prefectures. As long as they lie low and don't cause trouble, they don't get fired and they don't get demoted. They can work up until their official retirement age and they're guaranteed to get a fixed retirement fund. She was one of those government employees, but she defied the Board of Education and came to work for Hinamizawa. The villagers admire her as a teacher of passion. I heard that Oriel Sonozaki herself successfully negotiated with the Board of Education that suspended Chie Sensei for defying their orders. It was easy to get an answer from this by connecting the dots. Chie-sensei was recruited by Oreo Sonozaki as a teacher to work at the school the Onigafuchi Gardens had created. In other words, she was already working for Oreo before she came here. As the principal, he was the principal of the school in Namazawa from the beginning. He's a respected person of this region, and he's been closely associated with the three families for a long time, so that means his school has been under the control of the Sonozaki family all along. That's why Chie-sensei is acquainted with the death squad. It makes sense now. Chie-sensei confirmed that I came to the school today, made a phone call, and called them here. I don't want to know why she called them here. She called them just to monitor me. They'd wait near the gate until class was over, but they came onto the school premises. Why? Stop pretending to be a fool, Rena Ryugu. Do you think nothing will happen if you pretend not to notice it? Think hard and calm down. Rena Ryugu, what will they try to do to me today in school? In school? How are they going to do anything with my classmates and my friends around me? It's easy. Chie-sensei would tell me to come to the teacher's office during the last class of the day. What about my clubmates? That's easy too. Chie-sensei can easily make him go home early using her authority as a teacher. She could make up any reason she wants. Maybe the classroom is going to have carpentry work done today, so they can't stay in school.
Wait. Oh, she's replaying it still.
Yeah, she's like replaying it in her head.
Well, it's you.
Yeah, I know. It sure is. Bloop, you bloop today, bloop.
Oh, thank you. Well, you can start whenever you're ready.
See, there's no doubt. They clearly said they're ready to do it today.
Can we just quickly check that?
It's something they're ready to do it today. I don't know what those other two blurs are. But if you just, it sure is something about you, we're ready to do it today.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
We're gonna get them, you know?
There is no logical fault in anything in this scene.
It makes sense to me. And what else? Yes, we'll start right away. My account manager told me to give this to you.
Oh, the blank and blank, I see. Blair's left blank on Blair.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, there shouldn't be any problem. Thank you so much.
I see. They gave Chie-sensei an envelope with some documents in it. That blank is an eerie phrase. Was my name supposed to be in the blank? Why is it left blank? What does that mean? I told you, Rena Ryugu. Do you still think that nothing will happen if you pretend not to notice it? Stop that. So what it must mean is that it's an order from higher up. It says to make Rena Ryugu become blank.
So, the blank becomes both Rena Ryugu and the word blank.
Potentially. We're supposed to take Rena Ryugu, so there was something in that space, and now there is nothing in that space. Symbolically,
but the something
of Rena
in that
being removed.
space is also
yes.
Rena Ryugu.
Yeah, because it was gonna be Rena Ryugu in that space.
In that space.
But they didn't write it there, therefore symbolically saying that Rena has been removed.
Ah, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Because she has, you know...
It makes sense now.
Yeah.
It's
Imagine
just
if you...
like before the Prime Minister signs on to become the leader of the country, that box is left empty, so
yeah,
the de facto leader of the country is Rena Ryugu.
Yeah, no, you're the worst. You're literally the worst. Literally the worst. God damn it.
What? Is that not what you've just been saying?
No, it's like if you had the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
But you said 1, 2, 3, blank 5.
Yes.
And it was because someone had killed the number 4. Probably the number 7, because...
Well, as we all know, Australian Prime Minister Harold Holt
disappeared. He walked into the water. He walked into the water. We never saw him again.
So that was blank, and thus it's filled with Rena Ryugu. That's what this is saying.
No, it's the reverse. It means that Rena's getting up in the sea is what it means.
Killed Harold Holt?
We said Rena is Harold Holt.
Oh my God!
She's gonna go out to sea. We're never gonna see her again. Keiichi.
Can we quickly check the error here?
Can we quickly?
Can we quickly check? I want to see when Harold Holt disappeared.
I don't know where he disappeared. Was it
so while I look this up, lesson in Australian political history for you. The only thing that I've ever been like formally taught about Australian political history is that we lost a prime minister in the ocean when he went swimming.
Yeah.
And he was a very good swimmer, so it wasn't like this was, expected because he was a foolish boy that went swimming in water that was too deep.
Yep. Some say there was a white van that passed by and then... He ate too many Doritos and he went out to sea and nobody saw him again.
17th of December 1967. So it's a bit too old for Rena Ryugu to be.
I think so.
To be responsible.
I think so too. Unfortunately.
Her parents, on the other hand.
Ah, that's the through line.
Maybe that's what the divorce was really about.
There you go.
They had
That's
to
it.
hide from their crime of killing Harold Holtz.
Her mother was responsible for that. She's like, I'm gonna go live with Akihiro-san because I killed a prime minister.
Yeah.
I killed him in Australia. That's what I'm going for these business trips.
His name isn't
Oh my
Akihiro.
God.
It's just Japanese slang for I killed Harold Holtz. Or you
Harold
shorted
Holto?
it down, it becomes
Harold
Akihiro.
Holto! Oh my god,
Yeah.
that makes so much sense. I love it. I love it.
How did we get here?
I don't know, you're the one who did it! You're literally the worst. I took a peek from the shadows and I saw the principal taking documents out of the envelope. He started reading them. He looked stern, he looked very serious.
The same thing, really.
Yeah. I wished I could take a peek at the documents, but I was too far away. And my brow rating wasn't high enough. I kept looking at him just to see if he reacted at all, and then the envelope caught my eye.
Ben, I can stand for obscure tabletop references,
Yes, that's what that was!
but only one an episode.
No, 2.
No.
Why not?
It's too
Tabletop's
much.
great.
Listen, I
Are
agree.
you telling me that we can't be that nerdy?
I'm telling you that we can't alienate the audience by trying to shill them the same product more than once in the same video.
Okay, the same product supposed to be a different product, but my
No,
stealth skill wasn't high enough.
The singular product of obscure tabletop games.
boo.
That's the product that we can't sell more than once an episode.
Boo. Why not? That sounds like so much fun, though.
Well, they are so much fun, but
are.
you know,
They're
some people might not be
perfect for
familiar
ages 5 and up.
with a fiction first system and a crunch first system.
It's true.
What do these words even mean? They're just made up.
Go look them up. Find out. Educate yourselves. Tell us what tabletop role-playing games you'd like to play with us on the internet.
We will not be playing Witches and Woodlands within the year.
We might.
Not within the
There's
year.
time,
We
which
will
I don't
not
think
have
there will
time
be.
within the year. We will do it eventually, but it will not be
I'd
within
like
this
to.
year.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it over Christmas.
Yeah.
That's the first break
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna get.
Let's just do it for like April Fool's Day. Let's
Maybe
schedule
that's
that.
what
Let's
we
slot
should
that
do.
in. Yeah,
all right.
Perfect.
It's on the calendar.
Perfect. The envelope said Okonogi Gardeners, and it had some numbers that looked like a phone number. Fortunately, I have good eyesight. I memorized the number. If they're a death squad, the gardening company must be a camouflage occupation. It probably doesn't even exist. I wanted to find out. I looked for a phone. There's only one phone, and it's in the teacher's office. I couldn't wait till I got home or go to get a payphone or anything like that. It has
Yeah,
to
they're
be
probably
right now.
gonna kill me by
It's
dragging me
true.
into the teacher's office. Where's the one place I
Into
can
the
go?
teacher's office, yes. Fortunately, the teachers were chatting in the hallway looking at the gardeners. So there were no witnesses in case something went wrong. It was now or never. I made sure nobody was watching me go into the teacher's office. I rushed in and grabbed the phone on the principal's desk. I went over the phone number in my head and dialed it up. I'm glad they have a touch-tone phone. It would have been difficult as if it was a rotary dial.
I'm actually getting strangely tense at this moment.
If somebody answered, I'd only have to ask, is this the Okonogi Gardeners? I'll wait for the answer before hanging up. It should be easy. It connected. The number you dialed is... I felt a cold chill run through my body from the bottom of my feet. Wait, don't make a quick judgment. I might have remembered the number wrong. No, I know I remembered it right. It was an easy number to remember. It's impossible to remember it wrong.
That is just completely untrue.
Then, did I dial it wrong? Keep trying, Rena, I believe.
You would be surprised the number of people that accidentally call the wrong radio stations in Sydney.
Oh, yeah.
It is all of the radio stations in Sydney have, in fact, maybe in Australia, have the phone number format 13 and then 4 digits after that. And typically
Right.
it's 1310 and 2 digits that designate the station.
So it's very easy to get the mix up.
It is a
That's
daily
amazing.
occurrence that people call the wrong one. But all of the numbers are the station's thing, like the station's frequency.
Right. That's amazing.
Like, I
So
don't
it's
know.
not difficult to get it wrong. They must just be thumbing the wrong numbers or something.
I have no clue.
Spinning the dial.
It's just hilarious how many people call up to the station and they're like, hey, I wanted to call in for this segment. And you're like, what segment?
We don't have that here. I think that's somebody over in the other side of the town. Go that way, please, little girl. Thank you.
It's real great. It's good fun.
I put the phone down and started over. This time I dialed the number more slowly. The teachers might be coming back at any time. In that situation, it was risky to do anything slowly. But I need to make absolutely sure. The number you dialed is... It's the same. There's no doubt. The company, Okonogi Gardeners, doesn't exist. It's just a camouflage operation for the Sonozaki family's death squad.
I'm simultaneously impressed and disappointed with the fact that Rena doesn't actually listen through the entire "the number is" message.
Well, I mean, I will say I work in a call center currently, and I can by this point pick out what the message is going to tell me because they all use the same damn messages. So if they're like, the number you've dialed is, I'm like, oh, it's been disconnected.
Oh yeah,
I know what they're going to say.
I know, but it's like the game of tension is not grabbing me here as much as it would if someone actually picked up.
That's right. Maybe she just dialed it wrong. Oh, here we go. We're going to go through it. Please make sure the number you dialed is correct. The number you dialed is... I was too stunned to put down the receiver. The announcement kept running over and over again. The voice was cold and creepy. I hung up the phone and rushed out of the teacher's office. I ran to the bathroom and held my head in an attempt to cool down. Calm down, Rena. Calm down, Rena Ryugu. Stay cool, stay cool. Rena Ryugu. I wasn't safe here anymore. If I stayed here, I might be erased, even in the open. They'd erase me? Why? They aren't certain that I have the scrapbooks. I told Keiichi-kun where I hid the scrapbooks. Yesterday, I told him I hid them in my hideout in the garbage dump. Is Keiichi-kun in cahoots with the Sonozaki family?
Yes. Yes, he is.
Uh-oh.
Kill him, please.
No, don't kill him! I felt as if my head was a pot that was cooking some dubious stew where there was only...
curry.
Probably. There was only soup in my brain. I cut up clues, information, and facts just like I'd cut vegetables and threw them into the pot.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were floating on the surface, and others were on the bottom of the pot. They were being cooked in a boiling soup. No, it can't be. Keiichi-kun is on my side.
No, he's not.
The only one who's on my side.
Just kill him.
He held out his hand to me at the trash piles. There was no lie in that hand. When he grabbed my wrist, I felt nothing but his strong and pure heart. He promised me he'd be on my side.
The only way to feel his heart again is to cut it out of his chest.
No, don't do it, Rena! Trust in your boy! We love him!
Nah, just kill him.
No. He's the only one I should trust. He's the only one who is on my side right now.
It's not a real Higurashi arc if Keiichi is alive at
No! It'll be fine! He won't die, probably.
Yes, he will.
I'm sorry, Keiichi-kun. I was about to doubt you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I said out loud on purpose, full of regret that I doubted Keiichi-kun, the only one who was on my side. Now that I think about it, whether I had the scrapbooks or not might not matter to them. Erase anyone who is suspicious. That's the safest way. Does that mean they're in a hurry? The day of Orishiro-sama's revival might be just around the corner. And that's why they're trying to get rid of any small fish bones that are stuck in the throat. By any means before it's too late. We don't need her anymore. Just erase her if you worried so much. I could easily picture Oreo Sonozaka saying that. Picture?
She doesn't have a sprite yet.
No, it's true. No, she did say that. That's why they're here today. What should I do? What should I do? Should I wait until school is over? I was like a fish in a pond. No matter how many times I escaped from the net, I was in the pond, and they owned the pond. I didn't stand a chance. Then what should I do now? I couldn't keep escaping from the net. I should get out of the pond. I didn't know how to fight them. I didn't know who's on my side. I was about to give in to despair. For now, I'd have to think about how to survive this, so I'd at least have time to think about how to fight against them. I had to get out of this pond. When I was about to leave the bathroom, one of my classmates came in. I pretended to be sick and talked to the girl while leaning on the wall. I don't feel good. I think I better go home. Can you tell Chie-sensei I left school early?
Pretended.
I shouldn't let Chie-sensei know that I'm leaving school early if I'm trying to run away from them. But if I didn't, they might think I ran away without cause. That might lead them to chase after me without mercy. If that happens, I don't stand a chance. They were planning to capture me after school was over, but I happened to feel sick and left school early. If they took it that way, they wouldn't think that I had noticed the noose tightened around me. I was about to go back to the classroom to get my bag, but I changed my mind and turned around. I didn't need my bag anymore. I realized nobody was watching me, so I stopped pretending to be sick and started running.
Did you now?
Yeah.
It's very peculiar.
She's running.
She's running.
She's trying to get away.
What a fun time.
She's not doing okay.
She's not.
She needs protecting. Keiichi, get in there.
I can only assume this is Keiichi, and I will take points if it isn't.
I mean, unless it's the principal. That is the only other person I think that makes sense.
You're right. However, it has just switched to white narration.
This is true. You say that as though I wasn't immediately caught when the narration switched to pink and it was a Keiichi line. But I will. You know what?
absolutely right.
You can make this call.
And we got points for that rubbish too.
No, we lost points, didn't we? Did we lose points for
We
not?
lost points.
We lost points on that
I
one.
was just trying to inspire confidence in you, Ben.
You're not. But that's okay because it's your turn to fucking pick a voice.
Here, Sensei, take a look at this.
Here we go.
The principal. No, okay, it said take a look. Take a look. Is something wrong with the documents? Oh, it was the principal.
It was the principal.
Okay. It's cool. We can read it again and give us points.
Do we get points for that?
I mean, I'll give Ryukashi 1 and us 2.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Chie, Sensei, take a look at this.
Yay.
Take a look. Is something wrong with the documents?
Yeah, the date on the quote in the invoice, I left blank. They're supposed to put today's date here.
That doesn't sound good.
Oh, they wanted to leave them blank. They said they couldn't put the same date on the quote and the invoice. They told to leave them blank by the General Affairs.
Okay then. And this, the phone number is different on the invoice to the one on the envelope.
Oh.
Do you know which is the correct one?
Did Rena put in the wrong number?
Oh, I didn't notice that. Hello, excuse me.
Yes. What's the matter?
The phone number on the invoice is different from the one on the envelope. Which is correct?
Oh, it's the one on the invoice. I use the old envelope we used to use at our former office. I'm sorry about that. I told our part-timer to add a stamp with a new phone number, but I guess you forgot.
She? As in Takano?
How many females are there in this damn novel? Why do you think it's Takano? Goddamn.
I don't really. I just had to throw a name in.
Uh-huh.
And everyone else is in the school or Shion.
This is true. Sweet baby Shion. Oh, dear. I apologize for the confusion. Can you just erase the number?
Or dead.
And that's the end of the chapter.
What was with the pacing of that visual?
That
It's
was a weird.
black,
Why?
picture closed.
Also, why throw Chi Sensei on the screen when she just, we just had the whole scene?
I don't know,
Why
dude.
just throw her at the end?
Take out list 3. Let's go.
All right, it's time for more science stuff.
I love science.
Yay.
Fish in a pond with
I
a
love it.
lawnmower is the
That's
icon.
Rena. She's a little fish.
The achievements for this
Look,
arc have
actually,
been really great.
I love them. Somebody draw me a Rena fish. I don't know what that looks like. Somebody do it for me. I demand it. Request it humbly.
Let's go.
Let's do it. The danger of a culture-bound syndrome lies in the fact that it can easily trigger delusional misidentification syndrome. That is to say, in the current case, every time the patient sees something trivial, she tries to interpret it as a curse, and it's believed that as a result of the accumulation of these events in an understandable form, a delusional system is created, ultimately leading to paranoia. So we're talking about confirmation bias, basically.
Yes, I had.
Yeah. Furthermore, the patient is also exhibiting slight signs of a personality disorder.
Slight.
Of course, it's at a very mild level and it's not causing any hindrance whatsoever to the patient's daily life. It's common for even healthy individuals to have primary delusions in their daily lives.
This is set back when she attacked people in her old school, right?
This is originally
Because I was thinking to myself that no interference in her daily life is a bit far-fetched.
I mean, this is the thing is that the psychologists did not see that event. They were not a part of that, presumably. They're looking after a patient, and they can only really, at the end of the day, they can only make observations based on what they've, seen from directly interacting with them. That's been my experience with such things. So he might not understand the full scope of it.
Oh, right, because they, of course, more or less covered it up, as we were told in Arc
This is
1.
also true.
That's the piece that I'd forgotten.
Yeah, this is the thing, is that, psychologists don't just magically know everything about you, and I think that's something that Ryukashi's kind of highlighting here.
Yes.
She's also known to be a very good actor, Rena. But they're usually ignored automatically without recognition, since those delusions are nonsensical. However, there are cases where these delusions accumulate despite being incomprehensible. It largely depends on the particular characteristics of the individual, and it's believed that the patient shows relatively strong characteristics in this area. I believe you're very much aware that primary delusions are categorized into 3 different kinds. Science time! Delusional mood is the feeling of impending crisis without basis. Delusional intuition is the feeling of a sense of duty or goal without basis. Delusional perception is the feeling of a baseless cause against a baseless target. In the patient's case, it's believed that these incomprehensible delusions accumulated, acted out simultaneously with the culture-bound syndrome, which triggered delusional misidentification syndrome.
It doesn't make any difference because the way we talk, we just slam words together.
It's true, we do. We're just too quick.
No, it's all right. It's a British Australian thing.
The culture.
Also, I don't know what other areas of the world do that. There's quite a few. I think most of them come from like Scottish, British kind of influences.
I'm just sad that there is a vowel at the end of the first word and a consonant at the end at the beginning of the next one, because it doesn't sound weird unless you're like with the cultural bound syndrome. The cultural.
Well, you just got to go with the culture.
The culture. There you go. That's a good one. With the culture bound syndrome, which triggered a delusional misidentification syndrome, and it ultimately caused the incomprehensible delusions to become understandable by interpreting them as a curse. The comprehensible delusional system induces understandable secondary delusions, further strengthening. Can you imagine the PowerPoint that's in the background of this? Dude, I want to see that. I want to see that in the J-drama version. It's going to be a PowerPoint in here. Further strengthening the patient's delusional system with the passage of time. The delusional parasitosis mentioned earlier can be considered a secondary delusion. A common factor of all cases of paranoia is that even after an outbreak, they still appear perfectly normal with no change in their personalities. The patients are unaware of their own ailments, and due to the personal interpretations of their delusional system, there are many cases where patients arm themselves logically, making it extremely difficult for a third party to point out that they are having a delusion. Furthermore, though it may depend on the tendency of the delusions, there are also cases where a persecutory delusion turns into a pursuit delusion or a conspiracy delusion, resulting in the patient creating an imaginary enemy and taking up antisocial behavior. For example, there are cases where believers of religious cult were deeply influenced by the cult founder's paranoid visions, which shifted the group into conspiracy delusion, and that made them conduct antisocial behavior in the name of self-defense. Although no such cases have been reported since Arc 1 yet, it could very well happen in the near future. Fortunately, the patient hasn't reached that serious condition as of now. With proper treatment, she should be able to make a full recovery. Please make sure that her father also understands that this is not an unusual case, but something caused by the accumulation of a number of innocent factors that anyone could have. The patient can be treated only by deepening her bond with her father. As long as she has that bond, she can certainly be treated. For the reasons above, if the patient is to return to her home village, I strongly recommend that the patient continues to receive guidance from specialized medical institutions. Please excuse me for writing such a long letter. Thank you for reading this until the very end. Doctor out!
Well, that sure was a fun time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're getting more like science stuff into mental disorders and why they're important.
Yeah.
And why what's happening to Rena is that. Unless she's just right. You know,
now we're a whopping 17? Or is this 16 parts in?
I have no clue. One of the two.
But we're getting very close to the end, and it still doesn't feel like we've built towards much yet.
I mean, we did have the festival, we just like skipped over it. Yeah.
Like, we killed people at the start. We've had the festival.
It's such a weirdly like structured arc in that respect, isn't it? Like, it's still Higurashi.
Like I told you it was going to be all downhill from the murders. I told you that was going to be the case.
What?
The question is can Ryukishi pull us out of this valley?
What do you mean valley?
Up to the next hill.
Yeah, I mean that's the plan, right? We gotta get to our ending.
We do.
We get to the end of the arc.
It doesn't feel like we're pointing in any one particular direction right now. We could kill Keiichi.
It's true.
We could have Rena kidnapped, and then the others have to figure out what the fuck Aruni's gone on. We could have Takano reappear, and it turns out that she's actually Rika's sister, and that this was just an
from an alternate timeline.
No,
obviously.
not even that. They're just regular sisters.
Why not? You've put forward these like time loop theories. Why couldn't there be like a character who's
because
like
time loop theories
someone
are
else from another timeline?
That's rubbish.
What if Takano in Arc 1 was actually the evil Takano, and she comes back and she's like, "Yo, I might be evil, but I might also be like a real good person, or I might just be a nut job. And Keiichi is the only one who can save me. And then they get eaten by like a giant worm.
I feel like there's a very specific reference you're making there, and I'm not getting it.
It's what is it called? There's not enough time. It's this like little game where it's just a like speedrunning game, and just every level starts with a future you being like, "There's no time. Come with me," and then he gets killed. He gets eaten by a worm. It's great.
Is it There's No Time to Explain?
That's the one. There's no time to explain. He just says, "There's no time to explain," and then he gets eaten by like a giant worm.
I don't remember whether that game came before or after the video that I'm thinking of, but I'll link the video in the description.
I thought you were about to say before or after Higurashi. I think it was before.
Yeah, fucking.
I think it was before. I think it was before Higurashi.
Next time.